Hi everyone, it's Rax. I want to do something a little bit different for a video today that I hope will be a breath of fresh air for a lot of you. 11th Hour Gaming, aka the creators of Last Epoch, are having a big update on April 17th. And it's not a secret. I'm a big EHG fan. I'm a big Last Epoch fan. Honestly, I'm a fan of all the games: Path of Exile, POE2, Grinding Gear games, even Blizzard. Believe it or not, I'm still rooting for Blizzard all the time. I hope Diablo 4 makes a big comeback. But oh, hello, Callie. You want to be in the video? Okay, yeah, you want to be here? Hello, guys. Here's our 12-year-old border collie. Do you like her? Hello. Yeah, I'll play with you in a second, Callie. Anyway, what I wanted to do today is I wanted to bring a positive video. There's a lot of negativity going around, rightfully so. Maybe I'm part of the problem as well. Like I make the state of all these games where I try to make a document and have some constructive feedback about how things could be better. We're on podcasts debating why certain mechanics don't work. We're making comparisons all the time. Oh, this compared to D4, this compared to POE2, this compared to POE1. What I would like to do is talk to you about some positives here about Last Epoch and try to move away from the negativity for at least one video and tell you why if Last Epoch is not on your radar, or if you bought it a year ago and you haven't really played it and you're like, am I really going to play it? I'm going to bring up some points that I think might change your mind. Okay, let's start with something that I did not know was coming at all. I didn't know it was coming until they unveiled it a few days ago. Last Epoch definitely is like kind of mid-tier with graphics. POE2 and Diablo 4 just look better visually than Last Epoch. I think anybody with even decent eye vision would agree with that. But they have made some actual massive updates, and they actually look absolutely great now. I don't know if you guys have seen. I haven't prepped anything for this video. I just hit record and started talking. But if you guys haven't seen some of the new graphics that they have, I was actually blown away. I actually, before they even said that they updated them, I've been speedrunning this game a lot. I know the game pretty well. I was just watching them play. I was like, wait a minute. That doesn't even look like Last Epoch. That looks way better. And they said they moved to like the new Unity Engine 5 or whatever, and it just made everything 1,000 times better. If you haven't played this game in a while, or if you haven't seen that reveal and you log in and you start playing, you will absolutely notice that they have made a significant step forward in just how the game looks. If that's important to you, you're going to notice it. It took me 2 seconds of watching a video before they even announced it. I was like, wait a minute. Here's something that maybe the thing that made me the most angry about Last Epoch, it actually drives me crazy, is I can't pick up items. Like a monster drops items, and I'm blasting, right? Maybe part of it's my fault. I'm just running at the speed of light. Something I want drops. Okay, click and then move forward. But if I click, I don't pick it up. And there's a couple of reasons why that happens. Part of the reason is the radius. That's what she said. The radius at which you have to be within to pick up the item is very, very small. So you have to like pretty much jam it up your ass in order to pick it up, right? Well, they've made that 40% bigger. They said that's what she said. They said that they've been talking about it internally, but I think I literally had a hissy fit about it on one of my streams. And then Carve, one of the people there, brought it back up again. They made it 40% bigger. And another change that they made is if you click on an item, once you reach the edge of the circle to pick up the item, it picks up the item and it stops your character. So if you click on an item, you don't continue walking all the way to the item, even if you've picked it up. So that should feel significantly better on the pickup side. And people might underestimate that change, but that's the entire point of an ARPG. The entire point is to kill monsters and pick up loot. If picking up the loot doesn't feel good, it's something you feel all the time. I'm certain some of you have been plagued by this in the past, and they fixed it. So that's excellent. Just to speak in plain English, EHG literally said this point blank in their interviews, so it's just stating the obvious. Their end game was pretty mid. Last season, they did add a pinnacle boss, which was very challenging, and the whole build up to it was very good. It was very well designed, but that's pretty much all that we had. They're adding multiple layers into the end game now. And it's going to tie into our next thing with crafting. But there's not only more things to do literally, like the new woven echoes that you insert into your tree to like craft your end game. Not only can you reach the end game a little bit quicker on things like your alts, instead of having, see, there's 7 monoliths, but the I think alts only had to do 1 of the 91, so alts had to do 5. Now they only have to do 1. So it went from 7 to 5 to 1, but that's in like tedious crap that you don't want to do. So they cut 6 of them out that really doesn't make any sense for alts anyway. And they improve things like dungeons. And again, they added a bunch of endgame trees to spec into, which is going to customize your experience. And they added now an Uber boss, which they said about out of 1,000 people who could kill Aberoth, which not many people could, they expect maybe 10 of them to be able to kill Uber Aberoth. So now we have an unimaginably difficult pinnacle challenge. And that combined with a lot of the balancing that they're doing, which we'll talk about in a second, this end game has layers to it. It's significantly improved. They are definitely going after the main things that people just don't like about Last Epoch. It's actually amazing to see. They had 9 months to get to work on this stuff, and they have really done a really amazing job. 110 pages of patch notes, by the way. Now, before this patch, most people familiar with it would say that the crafting in Last Epoch was already excellent. You could argue best in an ARPG no matter what. It's only 2 choices. It's Last Epoch or POE1. Those are the only choices. POE2 and Diablo 4 are light years away from the crafting in these 2 games. The thing about the crafting in Last Epoch, I always correlate it to the Goldilocks and the 3 bears, if you know that story. One of them's too hot. Like POE1 is too hot for some people. There's just too much going on. For the Gigablasters and the Theory Crafters, it's the greatest thing ever. For a lot of people, it's just too much. It's overwhelming. It's a little bit too hot. And then like currently in POE2 and in Diablo 4, it's just too cold. Masterworking and tempering is kind of dumb. I think even Blizzard would tell you the same thing. I have a feeling they're going to be doing updates to that system. And POE2 just doesn't quite have enough yet. It's ramping a little bit. It's building, but it's just not there. Last Epoch is in the middle. It's you can start crafting right away. It's pretty easy to understand what you can do. And then as you use the system more and more and more, there's a lot of really godly options on how to make really great items. And then as you work with the system a little bit more, it just becomes second nature. Even if you don't dedicate your life to the game, the crafting was already really, really good. Now it's even went to another level, and it's pretty godly. By the way, one thing that I forgot to say about the pickup, it's not just the pickup radius. Now you have the option to have the auto pickup on the or the auto move to the bank of the crafting materials. You know how you pick them up and then you hit the button, and the button is satisfying. You see it like float away into the nether and it goes to your bank. You can check an option where you don't have to hit that button anymore. It automatically goes. That's going to free up a lot of pressure on your inventory. By the way, it also has a sort function. Sort function when in the other games, guys. Please help us. But it's going to reach a new level. There's more runes. There's a lot. They did it very intelligently. What they did was they said, okay, well, you get an item that has 2 exalted affixes on it, which means, if you don't know what I'm talking about, 2 really strong affixes, but they're the wrong affixes. You want like melee damage and physical damage, and you got spell and fire damage or something. You just got all the wrong crap. You're like, well, I finally got an item with 2 exalts, but I can't do anything with it because the 2 exalted affixes on it are bad. Well, they say, okay, well, you want to know what we're going to do? We're going to make a rune that shuffles the affixes. So the 2 that are exalt could get shuffled into the lower tier things, and the 2 lower tier things could get moved into the higher tier things. Now, all of a sudden, something that you would guarantee throw away immediately, after a little bit of crafting, putting on the right affixes in the other thing, chaosing them a certain way, and then flipping it and hitting the flip correctly, you just made maybe the best item you found all season. And they did so many things like that where, for example, set items. Set items were terrible. They're just terrible. Nobody uses them on almost any build. They said, all right, how are we going to make set items good, but not so good that they just dominate the game? Well, they now let you salvage the set items, and then you get the affix for the set bonus, and then you can craft that set bonus onto an item. Now, all of a sudden, all set items where they were pretty much useless, you just pick them up and vendor them for gold. Now you will shatter them to have a bank up to be able to craft sets on your gear. And then you have to make some interesting decisions. Do I want to make this a set item, or do I want to make it a legendary item with LP? These are fun and interesting problems to solve because there is a bit of min-maxing there, but you're choosing between good option A or good option B rather than like suffering with either choice. I think the dopamine is going to be there. I think it's going to feel really, really good for players to get into the game and start to actually understand how this works. After the season launches, it's going to take a couple of days for me to learn all the new systems. I'll make an overview of crafting and teach you. I'll go through each rune. I'll be like, this is what it does. I'll show you what it does. Let me give you a basic strategy of how you would use this on your character to gain an advantage. And I think that'll be enough, like literally one video, and that'll be enough to get the wheels turning, even for a casual player, and you'll be able to cook with it. So there is definitely going to be people, if this goes as well as I think it's going to go, that are going to say Last Epoch has the best crafting system in any ARPG. That is a very fair statement that's going to happen. I would say Last Epoch had decent balance. There were some outliers that are just way better than others. There's no doubt about it. That always happens in every ARPG and every patch. If you use that as a measuring stick, you're never going to be happy. They had decent balance, but I'm expecting it to be pretty excellent next season. Again, they really know their game. They know what the outliers are. They took some of the outliers down. And they even understand the systems that are overpowered. Ward is just too good. Health is not good. Simple as that. They buffed health. They buffed the health that you gain on a level up. Health regen is not a thing. I mean, it's bad. They buffed it significantly. I still wasn't really a believer in it. But then people tested it. And they said, oh, actually, health regen is actually decent, believe it or not. They buffed it so much that it's actually decent. And they didn't kill Ward. They made it harder to obtain Ward, and the ceiling is not as high. But I'm still expecting Ward to be competitive, to be pretty good. And that's exactly like what we're asking for in all of these patches. How many times have you really liked a build or a mechanic, and then the company nukes it from orbit and it's never heard from again? Actually, Last Epoch did this to me one time. If I can sneak one complaint in here. Remember the detonating arrow marksman with the two daggers? You ever play that build? That build was insane. And then that build got, I mean, people say it still kind of works, but it's definitely fallen from grace. It makes me sad. Anyway, from reading the patch notes and from what I understand about the game, it seems like a lot of their balance choices felt right. Like, this is going to be good. It's going to make the game competitive. I think their reworks of Sentinel are going to make it the class a lot better. It might be a little bit overpowered this season, but that's fine. Something's got to be overpowered. The final thing I want to talk about, and this is a big point for a lot of people, is the controls of the game. So Last Epoch can be, originally it just had like, click to move and some very, very bad controller support. And that's what it had. The very first time I logged into Last Epoch, EHG popped in and said, hey, Rax, thanks for playing our game. Let us know if you have any feedback. First thing I said is, oh, okay, while you're here, do you guys have force move in the game? I force move in all games. POE, Diablo, a lot of people force move. You have the option. They're like, no, we never even thought of that. Guess what? 5 days later in a patch, they put force move in the game. Works perfectly. I was like, wow, now that's service. I mean, that's not like the world revolves around me or anything, but a lot of people move with force move. If you don't have force move in the game, that's bad. And then I believe Judd, the leader of EHG, he only plays controller. So I was never worried about controller, but they've made update after update. And there's another massive update coming in this season, specifically with how the controllers target enemies and how you move. And it like has this lock on feature where you're able to like move away from the enemies, but still keep your target locked on. So you can kite them, you can DPS them much better. They showed a demo of it. Looks way better. Not only that, they also added WASD as a beta. And then also, as the controller improves season after season after season, they said that they do eventually want to bring it to consoles. So if you're the kind of person that maybe you're playing POE2 and you're saying, I'm never playing an ARPG without WASD again, boom, there you go. It's in beta. And I'll tell you something. I know this for sure. It's not because I'm a streamer. I know that this is true. In Last Epoch, there's a report bug function. You just open the options menu, report bug. I think it captures like the data of whatever just happened with you or whatever. There's an option, check, include a screenshot. If you're playing WASD on beta and something goes wrong, stop and use the report a bug function. I'm telling you for sure, they've reiterated this multiple times. They read it. So if you actually take the time to explain, I was trying to do this, but it did this, it needs to do this, they will read it and it'll probably be fixed. They have a very good track record of fixing these problems. So give them feedback. It's a beta, but it's there. Help them make it better. I'm sure there'll be updates to it in the next patch. And now we're cooking. I could have, there's a lot more I could have written here. There's 110 pages of patch notes. And I said I wasn't going to be negative at all. And I said I wasn't going to do any comparisons. Hopefully I mostly stayed away from that. Just wanted to make a positive video and tell you, if you didn't know, all these things are coming just in plain English. These things are coming on April 17th. I'm a big fan of Last Epoch and EHG. Honestly, I'm a fan of everybody. I'm a fan of grinding gear games and Blizzard too. Some people hate any of them for whatever reason. I don't get it. I just like ARPGs. Last Epoch is cooking though. I have a feeling if this patch goes as well as I think it's going to go in my head, they're going to be a real contender here. They're not messing around. They really aren't. I think you're really going to like it. I think the game is only like $35, and it is their intention, as long as the microtransactions work in their game, if people support them, their intention, they said, is for all Last Epoch updates to not cost additional money. They do an expansion, nothing. They add more characters, nothing. They have supporter packs now. They have skill MTX, whatever, to help support them. I'm going to buy all of them. That's what I'm going to do. Don't let me tell you how to live your life. If money's tight, if the tariffs are killing you, it's okay. But if you want to support them, that option is there. Last Epoch, it's looking pretty good. Are you guys hyped for it? Are you willing to try it? I don't have a creator code or anything. I just want to support the game. So that's what's coming. Positive video about Last Epoch, guys. I got a million more guides coming. If you want to get into the game and you want to learn it, I'll make beginner guides, leveling guides, endgame guides, crafting guides. I'll teach you the game. I'm not the world's leading expert on Last Epoch. I'm not Lizard. I'm not Tarek, but I'm not a noob. I know it decently well. I can definitely teach it to you. Look forward to it. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you.